not the same hanger, but I was technically telling the truth.
I like that camera change. Good. I will save it. How are you doing? How's everybody doing, actually? I got some new musical equipment this week and was writing for the script. I made a bunch of changes to this script before I started recording and lost them all. It was like an hour and a half of revisions and writing. Notepad does not autosave. I've kind of tried to develop this nervous tick of just hitting Control S just like every few seconds in Notepad. Right on. So, oh yes, I use Scrivener for the violence. Everything I have written for the violence is in, well, I have a notepad file that's like 500 kilobytes of stuff I've written. Just rules, quotes, scenes, characters, uh, guidelines, everything I can think of for it. Anytime that I think of an idea, I hit the window key and type in the first three letters of the text file that I have. And since my hard drive is indexed, it instantly finds it. So I hit Window ARQ and hit Enter, and that brings up, uh, whatever text file it is. So you just hit Window ARQ Enter if that's the first three letters of your text name, and it instantly brings it up. And I type in the thing, whatever I want. Don't forget to put this, and the character should do this before they go, and blah, blah, blah. And then hit Control S and close it, and that's it. And once you get into the habit of doing that for every single little silly idea that you have, after about a year or two, you have enough of little shorthand stuff, and it's easy to remember. If you have a cool idea, just write down like 3 sentences from it, and that should be enough at any point in the future to go back and read, and you'll remember it and go like, oh yeah, that's right, and this, and then you write down a little more if you extend the idea. And you're like, oh yeah, and that would go good with this thing. If you find a connection between that entry and a previous entry, find it and cut one out and go up to the previous one and paste it underneath it and be like, these 2 points, these two ideas I had during 2 different weeks should be related to each other. They fit perfectly, blah, blah, blah. You keep doing this for about 2 years, and you've got yourself enough content to fill in scenes and stuff for several episodes of really, really awesome cartoons. I can 100% say that it's worked for me because I have enough material in this text file. If anyone else read it, they wouldn't understand half of the shit because it's all shorthand and referencing characters in my head and whatnot. But like, if I lost this file, I would be devastated. I have like 20 copies of this saved on like 5 different computers and online. Like it's precious to me. And everybody should have something like that. If it's a notebook next to your desk, I recommend digital because it's so much easier to type. Have the notepad program on your phone where you can hit it with 2 thumb presses and hit the microphone button and just say, you know, guy who goes into donut shop with a flamethrower, this happens, gotta put this scene in with this song, blah blah blah, and just hit save and close it and forget about it until you have another idea. but you have to promise yourself that you will whip that thing out and put the idea in there every single time that you get one. If you don't get into the habit of it, you'll put like 3 or 4 entries in it and then never use it again. It's very sad. For me, the easiest way is to put a text file on your desktop or somewhere that's easily accessible and give it 3 unique first letters of its file name. You know, like XRQ story ideas. And whenever you get on Windows, I mean, you can do this in Finder on Mac. It's the same thing. You just hit Window and then type XRQ and then hit Enter, and it'll bring up. Like when you type in those letters, it will auto find that file name, and then you just hit Enter. Like it will have it automatically selected. So you just hit Window, letter, 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 Enter, and it just instantly brings it up in Notepad or whatever program you have set as a default, and have that as your Bible. Like your Bible of your world that you're building for your characters. And anytime you have an idea, make different categories, and in there in the the little Bible thing that you're writing out, put hashtag quote. Like if you think of an awesome quote and you're like, holy shit, I need to have a character say this in one of my cartoons, go in there, type hashtag quote, and then hit enter, or after it put something, or hashtag story, hashtag slang. Here's a cool slang term that could be used, and organize them later. Don't worry about organizing at all. Just put it in, hit Control S, make a new line, hit enter, enter, Control S, whatever, and just keep going. I have so much stuff in this file. I've had this one going for like 3 years now, I think. I've never separated my process into stages, really. I do everything, I don't know, just as it comes. I'm always learning.